Welcome to this week's episode of Now That's Something Good, the podcast where we explore the extraordinary in the everyday ordinary. Now here's your host, Sarah Good.
Hey, welcome back to Now That's Something Good podcast. We're so excited that you are joining with us today. We're going to do something a little different on this Wednesday, September 2nd, which, quick note, can you believe that it's already Wednesday?
No, I can't believe it's going so fast.
Surprise, Will is here with me. We're going to come to you today and kind of co-host an episode. When we started the podcast, we thought, hey, every so often we kind of want to just jump in to the middle of the stories that we're sharing and just catch you up on some good things happening in the Good family, some good stories that we've heard, and share some of our personal stories with you all as well, hoping that it would bring some encouragement and joy. So we're here today. It's actually not Wednesday, September 2nd yet. It's actually Saturday.
That's right.
Again, our little disclaimer in our house, who knows who's going to run in. It's real life at the Good house. So who knows what you will hear in the background, but it makes it fun. Mm-hmm. So it's Saturday. We've got coffee. Will's already been up early. What did you do this morning?
Yeah, I got up early, just kind of natural body clock. And I wanted to get some outside time. And I guess just yesterday, so I guess I'm jumping right into something meaningful because this is meaningful for me. But yesterday, I kind of realized, and you tell me if this is true, I realized I was starting to get grumpy. Was I getting grumpy yesterday?
You've kind of been grumpy for a few weeks, if truth be told.
Okay, well.
We'll talk about that on another.
Maybe, yeah.
It's another podcast.
Okay, well, I think I need some counseling now because I didn't know. It was a couple weeks. Anyway, I started noticing I was getting a little grumpy yesterday, and I think I was like, I just need some quiet time and some outside time, and I feel like I do well in nature. And so I thought, hey, I've been trying to run a little bit more, get some more exercise, and decided to go for like a trail run this morning, and also exploring because we went hiking last week, and that didn't go so well. Anyway, so for me, I went in for kind of a walk and put gas in the car, and I went out and got coffee from Caldi's, which is local. If you're listening from not in St. Louis, it's a St. Louis coffee place. They roast their own, and it's a really cool place. So yeah, brought that coffee back, and been a full day already.
That is something good. We are passionate about coffee around here at the Good House. But here, little fun fact though, we love coffee so much. Actually, how Will and I met. Look, here we go.
It's a good story.
This is a good story.
See where this is going.
Will and I met way back. We've actually known each other for quite a few years before we ever entered a more friendship or
relationship.
dating relationship. Mm-hmm. But there was this place we went to. Will worked at a small college in North County. Mm-hmm. I went to that small college in North County, and there was a little place called the Corner Coffee House, right?
Yeah, in Ferguson. Ferguson, the same Ferguson you've all heard of in the news.
Yes, yeah. We love that place. We actually got engaged there, but we would go, and a lot of great conversations and stories would happen at that Corner Coffee House. Yep. I actually wish we could go back and see Will and Sarah 19 years ago.
I don't know if anyone else wants to see that.
They were so cute. They didn't know anything. But anyway, so yeah, we've always been, coffee has been a part of our story. So we are really passionate about good coffee. For me though, after we had our third daughter somewhere in there, I can't do a lot of caffeine. Mm-hmm. I am naturally fast talker and high paced. And caffeine just amps that up, and the world cannot handle Sarah on caffeine.
No.
Just ask my staff at work.
You would have to that little button you push on the podcast to speed it up. You'd have to go slow it down to be able to tell what she's saying. Yeah.
Anyway, well, we're glad you guys are here. We're rambling. I promise we'll make some kind of sense. But I was just thinking about this podcast and what we want to do and where we want to talk about. And we want to share some good. And I want to talk just a little bit about that. Why we say good things, why we want to share stories, why we think so many good things are happening. Our world is hard, and life can just be hard sometimes. Mm-hmm. And I think we could all use a little more good. And let me be clear, when we are thinking about good things or sharing good things, it does not mean that we are sticking our head in the sand and ignoring the hard. It just means, hey, we're going to continue to try to get our perspective and our thoughts on good things. And again, that doesn't mean we're not paying attention to those things, we're not learning, we're not helping. But if all we focus on is all of the hard, it leads to extra anxiety, extra stress, grumpiness, all of those things. And so we believe that there really needs to be a balance between how to think on and be in the middle of hard things, but also continuing to shift our perspectives to positive and good things. So I actually found Yesterday, I was looking this up. If you are a Christ follower, and if you guys are not, Will and I just we said from the first episode that we have a faith lens. And so that kind of translates into everything we see and do. But in God's word, there's a book in Proverbs, and it was written by a man named Solomon, who actually asked for wisdom, which is crazy. But there's just all these kind of little truth bombs that he jumps in here. And I thought this was really interesting. I read this week. This is from Proverbs 15. It says, "A cheerful look brings joy to the heart. Good news makes for good health." And it's just that thing of there's a lot of things in the Bible talk about our words, that they're healing, they're sweet for the body, life-giving, but that good news actually leads to good health. And there are so many, we're not going to dive into that world, so many scientific studies that would say just it's that growth mindset, it's all of those things that we're thinking on good things, we're putting good things in. Scripture says a lot about the things that we're putting into our heart, mind, and soul is what is also going to come out of us. And so I thought today, here's another one. This is from Proverbs 25. It says, "Good news from far away is like cold water to the thirsty." And so, I don't know, we might not be that far away from you all, or we might be very far away. We don't know where you're listening from.
That's funny. That reminds me, this is a little bit of a tangent, but it reminds me of Lincoln, our 5-year-old. He wants every bedtime. What does he want?
Ice cold water. Not just cold water.
New water.
New water.
And it has to be ice cold.
Ice cold.
Because he's thirsty at bedtime, and it's got to be cold. But that's good. I like that. I like those verses that you share.
Good news is like that when we are thirsty and we need drink, that we need good news. And so today, Will and I just want to share some good things that have just good things, good, whatever we've said is good, share those with you, that hopefully it would be like a cold drink to your soul today, that there would just be some good that would help your body be healthy, your mind be healthy, your soul, your spirit be healthy today, as we just continue to share good news. And we want to hear from you too. If you guys got good things you've heard us say on the other episodes, or if this is your first time joining with us, welcome to the podcast, that you can reach out to us at podcast@sarahgood.com. We would love for you to email us and tell us maybe just a good story. Maybe it's a good meme. I don't know, anything that's good, a good coffee that you love, whatever. We want to hear from you and hear those things. So send us something. So Will, you want to start us off with something good?
Yeah, absolutely. A lot of good things for me, but one good thing for me as I work from home is often I want to put my earbuds in when I'm not in a meeting and actually listen to music. And one of my favorite playlists right now on Spotify that we'll share in the show notes it's a really instrumental music. It's called Without Words, and it's songs. There's a church in California called Bethel that some of you have heard of, and they have released a bunch of music that they've written or they've recorded that are songs that Christians might be familiar with from their church stuff. And it's just without words and instrumental. And some of it's really creative and really cool. And that's been good for me to kind of listen, it's kind of made from a positive vibe, and it helps me just to kind of focus and tune out some of the noise around me too. So that's been something good. How about for you? Has there been anything you've been listening to?
So good music wise, actually there is. So talking about music, and that's a whole nother podcast to it. Maybe we actually recently met a guy who does music therapy. I've got to bring him on the show because he would give all kinds of information about this. But music really does have the ability to change your brainwave, all of that stuff. It just encourages you. And we believe, again, as Christ followers, God is the author of everything creative. He made it. He made music. When we read in God's word over and over, music, instrumentation, lyrics, all that is so huge. So I believe that we are created to respond deeply to music and to beautiful things and to creation in general. So there is an album. It is also actually by Bethel. So we're not, but I feel like we should get a cut.
We really didn't talk about this before we started recording.
The whole album is called Peace. And it's actually, there's a guy named Ed Cash. He's been around a long time in the music industry, but he is a part of a band right now called We the Kingdom, which is also good. So if you have not heard any We the Kingdom, highly suggest you go turn that on. It's just good, pump up the music. Your kids would love it. Your teens would everybody, our whole house loves it.
And it's legit really well done.
It's
great to listen
so there's I'm also a music person. Will is too, but I'm trained music theory, all that. I love music. And there's music that's good. And then there's music that is next level of there really is creativity to it. There's excellence in it. And anyway, you could debate that all day of what falls in that or not. But this Peace album, it's actually Ed Cash helped produce it and helped write it. And the music, it's just some familiar songs that if you are into music, you might have heard, worship wise or just in general. But they have done this research that in the way See, now I'm going to have to link the article. But the way the music is written is actually proven scientifically to help calm down your brain. And then it can actually help neural pathways. So we're going to get real into our brain, which is something that I am fascinated by too. But we're always creating synapses, right, in our brain. And that this music and what they've done and the cadences and the notes and where they've placed it and the BPM, which is how many beats per measure, like how fast it's going, are scientifically proven to help people that have had trauma or any of this, just kind of slow that down and actually help create better pathways. So it's actually creating healing by listening to this music. And so it's something that I have put into my everyday. When I go down now and start my workouts, I start by listening to any one of these songs on here and really just do a bunch of breathing and stretching exercises that have just been really good because I am naturally very fast paced.
Right.
You can hear it in my talking, in my things. And if I do not consciously at the beginning of my day take a note to slow down, I will just jump into my day. And that has been really good for me. So 2 things. Do the Peace album, listen to that before bed. Some of our kids listen to it as they're going to sleep. It is calming and soothing. Or maybe try it as a part of your morning, just to put one on and slow yourself down as you start the day.
Sarah, can I ask you something?
Yes.
Can you share with everybody what your morning routine looks like? Because I think for some of us or some listening, they might be interested in how can I start my day to make the best or make my day a good day, right?
So good question. So this is a whole conversation we could do a whole podcast on. Yeah. Will and I are firm believers in intentions, and we don't do, let me preface, we are big believers in it, but struggle with it just like everybody else. I probably struggle the most out of the 2 of us. You have been pretty consistent in a morning routine way more than me. We could talk why about that is because I am by nature a very disciplined person. I have some health concerns health things that sometimes put a hindrance on some of that for me. And I'm also the mom in our house, and you are a very active parent, and we parent together, but it is harder with kids sometimes, or school and my work and just all of the things. Anyway, so morning routines. We're big believers in having some way to do that. So right now in this season, what I'm trying to do, I wake up, like I said, I go downstairs. I try to, on really good days, before I either have this last week tried to keep my phone by my bed and not even bring it down with me. But the big thing is I need to listen. I like to listen to music or podcasts while I'm working out. So I try to be very disciplined to not open social media, to not check my text, not check email until I've done through this morning routine. So I'll get up, take my phone with me downstairs. I will play one of those songs. I often now will read a scripture before I even do that. And so those first 5 minutes when I'm down, like after I've put my workout clothes, all that, I'm really, like I said, stretching, breathing, and really, I mean, the fancy word would be meditating. And we sometimes give that word a bad rap in we've taken it to mean other things, but scripture talks about just meditating on good things. Like, so that scripture I read, I'm just thinking on that, or maybe it's something from the day before, or just I have a couple statements sometimes that I'm breathing in and out, which if you're interested in that, I can tell you more about it sometime. But doing that, then I do my workout and then go upstairs, get ready for the day. I try to listen to a podcast or Bible. My thing is, Will knows, I don't like, sometimes our times overlap, and I, in the morning, am very particular about, like, I, in a preferred world, would not see anybody, talk to anybody, or do anything till about an hour and a half of my day. Not because I'm not a people person. It's just because the rest of my day I know is going to be filled with people and circumstances, and I really need some alone time. But living in a family with 5 other people, it's hard sometimes. So I don't like, sometimes you'll come in the bathroom trying to listen to my podcast, and it just annoys me that you're in there and I'm trying to listen.
We share the bathroom, so what am I going to do?
It's me, but that's kind of it. And then I'm into my day, and like I said, do my Bible reading in there, or sometimes when I get to the office because of my job, I'm able to do some there. But that's it. What's your morning routine?
My morning routine typically starts the night before. I like to, on a good day, I'm setting out my workout clothes in the morning, and sometimes even my clothes I'm going to wear the next day.
You do that because they're on the sink, like all over.
I know, it annoys you. What can I do? It starts the night before.
I'm happy for you.
Yep, I get up. Usually, alarm is best for me, but sometimes it's natural. And get up, use the restroom, wash my face, get dressed.
Getting detailed. I left all those details out.
I'm just going through it in my mind here.
Okay, go through it.
I've got it timed out too, so I know how much time I usually need. I will go downstairs and fill up my cup with water. I'll put some of it in a little shaker bottle. I subscribe to Super Beats, which I really like for energy and natural energy. You're laughing at me on the inside. I know you are. don't like my beets. But anyway, this tastes like
disgusting.
juice. I like it.
It's
Anyway,
disgusting.
Super Beets. It's natural nitrous oxide to help with your energy and circulation. Link in the show notes. Anyway,
we are big on supplements and stuff too. That's a whole nother podcast episode.
It is another.
Like
we have lots of. We're actually coming up with some great content from this just random conversation.
Drop us some comments on what you want to hear, or be like, please don't talk about
we'll
that.
prioritize or we won't. And so I drink that up, and while I'm getting that ready, I'll actually fill up the coffee maker because I like to put fresh, filtered water in the coffee maker and turn that on so that's ready to go and heat it up when I come back home.
Yep.
Usually walk. It's usually 30 to 45 minutes, and I like to pray, and kind of that's my communion with God, so to speak, and meditation. Some mornings I will run, and when I run, I tend to listen to something because I have a harder time like praying. But I have a normal daily prayer that's pretty consistent. Pray over our family, over our work, everything in our lives. Come back from that and stretch. Sometimes I do some gratitude exercises about what I'm thankful for from the day before or the season before. Sometimes do a little meditation, breathing exercises just to kind of center myself. And sometimes there's this practice called segment intending where you're actually just kind of looking forward at your day today and speaking positive things over my day. Like, wouldn't it be great that as I read some of the Bible that I learned something new today and that God, you inspire me? Wouldn't it be great that I have a great cup of coffee? Wouldn't it be great if I could interact well with Sarah or the kids or have a great lunch or dinner or whatever's on the schedule today? And then from there, it's come inside, make the coffee, try to spend a little time reading either Bible plan. I'm trying to get through the Bible in 1 year, but it's taking me 2 years, and journaling or reading a book. I'm trying to get through a book right now, and just like maybe 20 minutes of that, and then it's on, shower, change, get ready for work. True confessions, though, sometimes I don't even look at my phone or calendar until after that whole morning routine's almost done. And I'm like, oh no, I have 5 minutes and I've got a meeting that starts. And I'm like, whoops. But for me, I know
which can be good and bad. As I say, a lot of people who are smarter and wiser than do it would say it is really great. You should be looking at your calendar the night before so and then you're building your life around that and just knowing like I've got this much time so that you can wake up and give yourself space without having to feel the looming like I've got this 9 o'clock meeting or I've got to and stay focused first on what's most important and then be able to switch gears to, hey, here's my work day or my life day, whatever your day looks like.
I can do better at that, but I haven't worked that into my night before routine.
The reason Will is also smiling, you can't see it, he's smiling because he's waiting for me to give a comment on his time management
We
skills.
have that in another upcoming episode, so let's leave that alone for today, please.
We won't talk about that right now, our marriage issues, but we have learned a lot of grace with each other and I'll just leave you with this. You could probably guess which one of us is more time conscious and which one of us is not. So let us know which one you think that is. And we would want to know, hey, let us know what your morning routine is. Do you have that? Do you do that? Like I said, we have found a lot of good, my days are not great and I don't feel like I'm my best self when I can't get some semblance of that. And it's really taken me some periods of not having that and to not be great to go, okay, this is way work. Like I have to do this. It is important for me. It is important for my family. It is important for my job
100%.
situation, all those things you do.
And let me tell you right now, in this season throughout the world and the disruption, mostly because of COVID-19, it's been so critical to have that time. And that's why I had to go on the hike this morning is I have not felt quite as healthy as a person because of the constant interruptions, the lack of the routine I used to. I took it for granted, the ability to have a routine of dropping kids off or just going to work, that 5 minute or 10 minute commute, coming home, all the transitional times helped me to really center myself to be present in the moment of what I was doing. And all that stuff seems to be like all a giant blur right now. So now more than ever for me, it's the personal disciplines are absolutely critical to my health. And that's probably why you've seen me maybe grumpy or just not being healthy. I should say
too, you have been really, this has been a few years for you really of being way more disciplined about this. But then both of us though, at the beginning of coronavirus, it fell off. It was like the whole world, right? I'm sure many of you listening, I think those first 2 to 6 weeks in there, it was just crazy. It was like, I think everybody had whiplash from what was going on. You didn't know, all routines went out. I mean, all of our lives completely changed. You went from doing your normal routine to not. Now, some of you, your lives, you still went to work. It ramped up in a different way if you were first responders or worked at our grocery store, or if you're a toilet paper manufacturer, your life changed, or Amazon, your life changed.
Shout
a little
out to
differently.
the TPU makers of the world.
Yeah, thank you for getting us back with toilet paper. But yeah, and it just felt hard to have routine. And I think we felt really off those first few weeks for, I mean, of course, numerous reasons, but part of that was our routine had gone out the window. And so to fight to get that back and like wake up at a normal time and go to bed at a better time took us a little bit. And then I think once we were able to do even just those two, like have a more normalish bedtime and a more normalish morning routine, it helped us both feel like, okay, we can do this. Anyway, we'll talk more about that in a little bit because we both had some issues. So I want to talk about this. So we recently had a chance to go on vacation, which was definitely something good for us. We ended up deciding, we knew all along this year, we try to take a family vacation once a year with everybody. We try to take, Will and I take a trip ourselves, usually at the beginning of the year. January is our preferred time. It just starts a new year. We're looking back on the past year, looking forward to this next year. And usually because, I mean, Christmas and holidays are crazy for everybody. My work in particular is very busy in that season. And so it's just kind of a natural place for us to just stop and be together and set some intentions. And so we got to go to Cancun in January, which praise the Lord that happened before coronavirus. That was a blessing to us. And then we had thought about going on family vacation in October. And then we decided with all of the corona stuff to actually move that up because one, we were not sure what this fall would bring. Right. And we felt a little, like right now with what we wanted to do. And plus I needed in particular, I just needed a break, needed a change of scenery. And we'd even said, even if we go to a different location and do just what we were doing here during, like here, go for walks, cook our own food inside and don't have a lot of interaction, it would be better just to get a change of scenery. And for me, I really need to kind of be removed from my situation to really relax and unplug.
That's how you rest. Take her out of the norm.
So where do we go, Will?
We went to Wares Valley, Tennessee, which is just outside of Pigeon Forge or in the Gatlinburg area.
Yeah, we loved it.
The Great Smoky Mountains.
We're not normally I don't know. Because if this is where you would choose to go on vacation, I'm not down. We love that. That would not probably be our normal MO. We would probably pick something a little like Colorado if we were going to do mountains or north, anywhere. Anyway, but we decided to do that. It was great. We found this great little cabin. If you need to recommend, it was called Bear Cozy right there at Wares Valley, right? Not even a half mile from the entrance to the national park. Yeah,
it was super close and really convenient just from we were far get to a trail away pretty quick
from all of the craziness of the Gatlinburg Pigeon Forge strips that we could be removed. We ordered groceries and it was just a really good time. I think Will and I both, God really speaks to us in nature and being outside. Sure. And so it was fun to take our kids. We are glad to report that we lost no children off the side of a mountain, which was good. We actually have a funny little video we'll share on social media this next week of us on a hike where we may or may not have lost our children for a little bit. I don't know. But we came home with not only the same number, but these same children, our children back with us. It was good. Which with you, when you have, for those of you that have more than one, you'll know, just keeping your kids anyway and not losing one is a huge success. But we both, I think, had some really great takeaways from our mountain vacation. And so we wanted to share some good stories, just what God is teaching us, showing us in these moments, or just other things. So Will, do you want to?
Yeah. One thing that really inspired me was a relationship that I'm very relational.
This was so cool.
You met, there's this little place called, was it GSM Outfitters? I think is the name of their company or their business.
Mountain Outfitters,
yeah, exactly. And they're literally 2 minutes from the cabin where we stayed. Yeah. And we went I think we actually went a couple times and they were closed because we thought they were open later. And they were closed. And finally, I think the third trip they were open. But you went because I think I was working that day. And you went in and you got to meet Michael and Heather, who are the owners. And their story is they had actually... Michael had grown up coming to the Great Smoky Mountains with his parents. and had been coming for years and years and years, 20 plus years. And they decided they lived in Michigan, and they decided as their kids got older, like, you know what, we're done with the corporate life. They both worked in sales and procurement. We're just going to sell everything, and we're going to move to this place that we love, and we're going to start a business. Cool. And it's a really cool story. In fact, I would love to have them on the cast sometime. It would be really fun to. We
were really contemplating if we could just take our microphones in their shop and be like, hey, we have a podcast. And because this guy, Michael was telling me the story the first day, and I came back and told you, and he was just saying this stuff, and I'm listening, and I'm like, this is the kind of stuff we want to talk about. Yeah. It's so cool. And he knew all these trails. It was a really neat. So if you're in the Great Smoky Mountains, if you go there on vacation or driving through, you got to go see them right off of, what is that highway? I don't even know.
321 or something like that.
Right there, right on your heading into Gatlinburg, Pigeon Forge area. It's right on the right.
Yep. They've got all the gear. They've got the know-how. They're basically locals, and they've got a cool story too. And they're just really fun to talk to. The dude, Michael's like full of knowledge. Like tell him about your purchase.
I did have some purchase. We love hiking. Hiking has been really a part of our story for a long time. And then in the middle years with having lots of kids and just time-wise not as conducive. And so I'm kind of like, you guys are going to laugh at this, but I'm like, if I get the gear, then I'm going to do it, because I'm frugal enough that like if I spend the money on it, I'm going to use it. And then I'm also big on like, well, if I buy this or do this, then I am this, so I'm going to do it. So I was like, I'm going to be a hiker. And I was talking about it the whole time. I'm like, we do, because we love mountains. We climb in the mountains. So it started with a bag. They had those, I don't even know how you say it.
Kavu.
I don't think that's how you say it. But anyway, whatever, these cool bags. And I was like, well, we need something, because we had gone up. I was actually a little mad at you because I'm like, where is your backpack? On the first time we went on a hike, I'm like, we need water bottles with 4 kids. We've got all this random things.
And meanwhile, jackets. I'm thinking like, there's no way we're going to last so long that we actually need any of that stuff, because they're going to.
Yeah, but we hiked every day. Anyway, miles every day. Mm-hmm. And so we started with the bag, like that goes, like the one shoulder bag. It's like water resistant. It's got all these pockets so you can stick your stuff in it, all the stuff. So I was like. The
coolest feature, I think, is that the strap is made out of climbing ropes.
It is.
It's super cool.
So that totally made me feel like I am a professional hiker now, people. And then I was telling Will, and this is usually what happens. I'll say something and I'm like, I need hiking shoes. And then I'm like, I do need hiking shoes. I really need hiking shoes. I'm going to get hiking shoes for Christmas, because I'm trying to be practical. And I'm like, and good hiking shoes are pricey. Mm-hmm. Like, they're not cheap. They're not your $30 Walmart hiking shoes. You need something a little better. And I knew I would have them. They are practical. You can have them for a lot of years. Anyway, I was like, I need hiking shoes. Well, we went in. I'm a bargain shopper, people. Like, love a red sticker, yellow clearance sticker.
Hey guys, this is Elena. So thank you for listening in to That's Something Good podcast. So we just want to ask you to please subscribe and tell all your friends and family about this, because we just want you guys to have a great day and always have a positive mindset and be grateful and just know that God loves you. Well, let's get back to the conversation.
Actually, what's more interesting is the debate.
Yeah, they had 2.
Form over function or style or whatever.
So this is the continued style versus how practical they are.
Right.
Because they had a pair of like these kind of tan teal ones, or these other ones that were like purple. And I'm like, ooh, I've always liked purple. Mm-hmm. I like teal. Anyway, so luckily the guy was like, hey, these are the better ones. They're a little wider. They're more for what you're going to do. Anyway, these are legit hiking shoes. So now I have no excuse to go hiking. We're going to go. We don't have mountains around here, but we got some hills, like some Missouri. We're going to go hiking, and then hopefully I put enough miles on them that they don't last me the next 3 years. Because if I have them for 3 years, it means I've probably not been using them enough. So hopefully we'll use them enough to warrant a new pair. But anyway, so yes, Sarah's random good news. I have hiking shoes, people, and have a bag. So I'm now officially a hiker. So if anybody wants to go hiking or go on the mountains, sign me up for Mount Kilimanjaro. No, I'm just kidding. Don't sign me up for that. I'm not
actually ready. Well.
Oh, great. What did you sign us up for?
I didn't sign you up, but Mount Kilimanjaro, I've got a story to share with that at some point. It's for later, but have a friend, a colleague at MasterCard. He and his wife got to go climbing with a bunch of people.
You told me,
and they've got a pretty tremendous story to share. And we'll have to work on that.
We're not quite ready for that. I need a few more accessories to be able to.
Well, yeah. But I wanted to. The story is cool.
Okay, we'll share that for another day. Okay, get to your mountain story. This is going to be like a 5-hour podcast.
My favorite story was really meeting Michael and Heather. I mean, we had a lot of good times.
That was your story. Okay,
that was
great.
My story. Yeah.
Okay, perfect.
So if you're in the area, we'll drop it in the show notes. But if you're going to Pigeon Forge area or the Great Smoky Mountains. Highly recommend this business. And their coffee's really good. You have to drive a long way to find coffee if you're in that area.
You do. And when I left, the guy the first day was like, hey, he's like, yeah, we're kind of coffee snobs. I'm like, oh, we came to the right spot. You just said our language. Like, this is not like Folgers coffee and this is going to be good. And it was really good.
Wait, is Folgers coffee?
I don't know. Sorry if you're a Folgers drinker. Sorry, Folgers. We won't endorse you. No, I'm just kidding. Okay. Anyway, so my mountain story. So we went on several hikes. What was it? Laurel Falls was the first day. And then what was
Klingman's Dome, which was super fun.
Yes.
And we got a picture of that we can put, but like Lincoln would not walk and I had to carry him.
Oh my gosh.
So it's 38 pounds up
this
20,
incline,
30%
if you've never
incline.
been there, I mean, it's only like, they said it was 0.5 miles. I want to beg to differ.
0.5 miles, like straight up feels like 3 years.
It felt
to
forever,
take, 3
really.
miles.
So you were up ahead with Lillian, our oldest.
Lincoln on my hip.
Lincoln on his shoulders. I'm back.
Yeah.
One of our children that I will not name was having a few issues with just wanting to do this. The spirit of grumpiness was upon her. And when this particular child has the spirit of grumpiness, it makes everybody else around them grumpy. So I'm trying to be like, okay, we can do this. Come on. And Will knows, like, when we're walking or hiking, my least favorite thing to do is to have to keep stopping. Now, if I have to legitimately stop because like I can't breathe or something, great. But like to stop.
Got to be on your terms.
Yes. I want to keep going. Even if it is a very slow pace, I don't want to stop because when I stop, it just like my muscles feel like they start tensing. I don't know. Anyway, so we're literally stopping like every 10 steps. And if I'm totally honest, it probably was good to stop every so often because we couldn't breathe. But this was my takeaway. I love this. We got down and I had noticed this on our Laurel Falls hike. Random people we didn't even know were super encouraging.
Yeah.
And so we would stop and they were like, to this daughter that was having a few issues, would just be like, hey, you can do it. My 80-year-old girl, this 80-year-old lady passing us by doing it. And I would, we're like, come on, you can do it. It's really hard for me not to say her name. I'm probably going to slip and say which child it is. But
yeah, the encourament was great. Not far now. You're almost there. The view's worth it.
Going up and like, hey, you can't see, but it's just around this curve and you're there and it straightens out. And that helped my other daughter who was more athletic, was having a hard time, which made me feel better. Like, I can't breathe. And this is my other daughter is not having. Anyway, good stuff. So we're going up and then we get there and then on our way back down, we're going and we were like able to encourage people along the way. And so I could tell you thing after thing that people would say or just how it was. But my takeaway, I got back like maybe the next day. I had just been thinking on that because the same thing happened on our Laurel Falls hike. And then when we were going back down the mountain, it was really cool for us to be able to tell people, they'd ask and go, hey, how much further is it? And we'd be like, hey, it's just a little bit. You're so close. You can do it. You've got this. Like, keep going. It is so worth it. Because we'd been up to the mountain then at that point. We'd seen the views, seen how beautiful it was, and you wouldn't miss it. And so a couple of things. One, for our daughter that was struggling, we were just talking again about growth mindset, right? Positive out. Like, you can do this. If you tell yourself you can't do it, you're right. You will never be able to do it. But you can do it. Keep going. You can do it. And so I just had this thing. It was like in life, right? Life it can feel like a mountain climb and it can feel like an uphill mountain and climb. And oftentimes, like maybe you're carrying 6 5-year-olds on your back going up. And it was just so cool, the encouragement that happens. And just the thing that was reminded to me of, okay, we've got 2 options when we're up, when we're on our climb up.
Yep.
Are we going to be the people that are stopping or starting? How are we going to do that? How are we going to finish? And then on our way down, when we've had our experiences, whatever we've been through, whatever life has thrown at us, whatever we've walked through, are we going to choose to just put our head down and get through it and get back down the other side of the mountain? Or are we going to choose to be an encouragement to those going on and cheering on others and saying, you can do it? And there's actually even camaraderie as we were going up the mountain, like, because you would stop, like there'd be these groups of people that you were kind of with together and like we'd walk a little bit and stop and then they'd pass us and then we'd start walking and then we'd see them stopped on the side. And then we got to the top. They were so encouraging, particularly to the daughter that was with us, like, you did it, you got here. And it was just such a great thing that oftentimes, like, even I struggle with, like everybody's on a journey. Everybody is somewhere in their life. We cannot measure our spot from somebody else's spot because we're all in different spots.
Yes.
On a mountain of life. And that we get the chance to be encouragers and that we can tell other people like, hey, you can do this. Like, it seems really hard right now, but keep going. Like, hey, I've been around this bend and it's going to straighten out right here and you can do it. And that then when we're on the other side and we've done that when we're coming back down to be able to have that chance then to be the encouragers to other people. And I was caught off guard because we were going, I'm like, why do these people keep asking me? Like I feel like if there was a crowd of people and somebody was going to stop somebody to ask for directions or whatever, inevitably I would probably be one of the people that would get stopped. And I'm always like, why do people like ask me? Like, I don't know, I have like a sign that just says like, ask me directions or tell me something. And I was just really like, you know what? It's probably, well, I'd like to believe it's really the Holy Spirit and joy and just look approachable. But it was like, man, you look like you could be an encouragement to somebody. And so it was so cool that as we were coming back down, that people going up, we were like, hey, you can do it. And they're like, okay, yeah, thanks. And
that's good.
Just keep going. So
Sarah, what makes somebody look like they could be an encouragement? How can we carry ourselves
I think
to be
part
an
of it is
encouragement to others?
carrying it with no matter what we're going through. And there are hard moments. And there are days when we are grumpy. And there are days where the weight of the world feels like it's pressing us down.
Yeah.
And it's okay. You got to sit with that sometimes. And it's okay to be the one needing the encouragement because we all are on that spot. But I think when we have a little more clarity and you're in a different day, to look like you can be encouragement and to not look like Eeyore from Winnie the Pooh, like the sky is falling, but to go, hey, there is hope and you can do this. And it was just so much encouragement that both ways. Like it was equally as great to be the person being encouraged as it was then to turn around and be the person encouraging other people. And so it was just that reminder of like, you know what? Every day we're encountering people, whether that's through Zoom meetings, whether that's teachers now, schools back, whether it's our peers, whatever, the lady in the grocery store, that we can be an encouragement and a light wherever we go. And so
I'll tell you 3 things for me that is a sign of somebody might be an encourager. Number 1, you make eye contact.
Yes.
Number 2, you smile. If you have a mask on, just make your eyes really big and nod your head.
I've been trying to work on how to smile with a
maybe
mask.
Looks like you might be smiling underneath there. And number 3, speak words just speak words. And even if it's 3 people up the hill or down the hill, when you speak a word of encouragement to somebody in front of you, other people around them are going to notice that. And then they're going to be drawn to you because everyone wants some encouragement.
And that's what was happening on this mountain. In the midst of a pandemic, in the midst of everything that's going on in our world, these were people, different races than me, different cultures than me, different ages than me, different whatever. And it was just, it actually, I felt like it gave me an encouragement towards humanity in that moment again of like, man, we can encourage each other. They didn't need to know my whole life story to do that. I didn't need to know their whole life story to them. I didn't need to know their political affiliation. I didn't need to know
their religious
income
background,
their
things.
Income, their socioeconomic.
Didn't matter.
It was just like, man, we're on this. We can do this. And they were just approachable. And it was the cool thing. It's like sometimes you got to take the first step. When we were going down, when we were the ones getting the encouragement from other people on our way up the mountain, people weren't like asking me like, hey, can I encourage you or can I say something? They just were doing it. They were just taking a risk and going like, hey, you can do this. And so it was so cool. And it was really great for our daughters to see that because even the one that was having a hard time noticed like she would smile. And when she got to say a couple times like, yeah, you can do it. It's not far.
Things turned around.
It did turn around when you can be on the other side. So anyway, there's so many life lessons from mountaintop, but
that's really good stuff. Yeah.
It was good.
Cool.
Yeah. So look for your ways that you can be an encouragement. People need it and it's good. Okay. What else, Will? What's one more good thing?
One more good thing. Let me consult my trusty list here.
Consult my list.
I'll tell you a good thing. This is actually a funny thing. I've noticed this last week a couple times that I've been pranked. But
has there been a particular child
there's
that
been
has done
a
the
certain
pranking?
5-year-old in our house that's been the prankster extraordinaire, which has really surprised me because that's a new thing
it is a
that
new
I've
thing
noticed.
For him. Yeah.
Okay. Well, I'm going to start with yesterday. Then I've got 2 stories if that's okay.
Go. Yep.
Yesterday, I was working from home. Sarah, you were gone. I don't even know where the
Haircuts.
girls got haircuts. Yep. And Lincoln was with me here at home, and I was in the restroom, and I came back out, and I was going to go to the office to go back to work, and I pull open the bedroom door, and there's a this happens literally in half a second. There's resistance on the door, and then suddenly an old school bell alarm clock goes off, and like my heart skipped a beat. I'm like, what the heck? And then Lincoln dives on the floor, rolling around laughing. So he had like tied some kind of rubber band to the outside of the door.
Yeah.
And as soon as I opened the door, he set the alarm clock off, and it's ringing. I'm like, what in the world?
He did that to us when we got home from
when
the
you got home
haircut
from
too. Yeah,
yesterday,
he like was
yeah.
waiting for us to open the front door.
Yeah.
And so it would set off this alarm.
It was really funny.
And the crazy thing is, like, how long did he wait there for you to
know.
open the door? So he can be still, is I feel like the moral of that story.
He's still, if someone else will pay the price when he's done with the stillness.
Yeah, that's funny.
Now
So
that
Frank,
one, but that one's just like the minimal one. Okay, earlier in the week, something had happened, and the toilet was clogged, and you all know that poop happens and stuff like that. But this was like, I don't know why, but there was nothing in the toilet and it wouldn't flush. Like, so I've had to like plunge it, 4 or 5 times over the course of days. And here's another incident where I'm plunging the toilet up on the second floor, and Lincoln comes in and he's yelling. He's like, Dad, the toilet's smoking downstairs. The toilet's smoking downstairs. I'm like, it's smoking. He's like, clogged? No, it's smoking. And I'm like, oh, great. What the heck is happening to our plumbing? I'm going to have to like redo the entire house because nothing's working. And so, okay, fine. I'm just going to leave this clogged toilet and come downstairs and check what's happening on the main floor. And I walk into the bathroom. And you'll just have to wait for the picture to come out because
we posted it.
You already did post
it. On
Yep.
social media, you've seen it. If you have not seen it, go
The
look
toilet
at Now That's
was
Something Good on
literally
Instagram or Facebook.
smoking.
It was hilarious. You got to tell people you can't leave it like that.
Okay, fine. I walk into the bathroom. The toilet lid and seat are closed, and on top of the lid are 2 rolls of toilet paper that look like eyes.
Yeah.
And a spent
toilet paper.
What is it? Paper towel dispenser, the middle cardboard piece sticking out of the toilet like a giant
like
cigar.
Smoking a cigar.
Exactly. The toilet was smoking.
Which I have no idea.
Where did he come up with that?
I have no idea.
But that was
crazy.
good. I mean, just that was.
You texted me that at work, and
you busted, didn't you?
Yeah, I was like, this is something good. We need.
But you know what? I needed that because I was really frustrated. Like, I'm trying this again. Routine's destroyed. I'm trying to work from home. Distractions like literally 3 or 4 times an hour, even with help at home or the kids not even all here.
I don't know why you were right because the kids weren't yours on the
you get it anyway.
toilet.
So anyway, and I'm plunging the toilet. I'm already frustrated. I'm like, this is dumb. I'm supposed to be getting work done. I actually have something meaningful to do, and I'm plunging a dumb toilet. And great, here's another one. But then he needed to break in.
Yeah. So anyway, yes, good funny moments.
How
We'll
about
post
for you?
That picture.
Something else
there.
good.
Something good. Here, this is totally random. Let's talk clothing trends for a minute. So I don't know, like tie-dye has come back around. Did you ever tie-dye shirts as a kid?
No.
You never tie-dyed?
Maybe
when
in
I was in elementary
vacation
school,
Bible school or something like that, but it wasn't.
So like early 90s, it was a big deal again to like tie-dye. And then people have tie-dyed this whole time in between there, but it wasn't like I would say on trend fashion-wise until like maybe this last year or so that tie-dye became a thing.
You've seen my pictures from the 80s. You know that fashion was not part of my repertoire. I grew up on a farm. Come on.
That's true. I want to say my comment. I was going to say, is fashion now part of your repertoire? But it's okay.
Thanks to you, it is.
Yeah, that's true. Anyway, so tie-dye. So the kids this week tie-dyed with our the summer sitter we've had. They tie-dyed shirts. And what I love, though, is they call it reverse tie-dye, where it's like you're bleaching it, and so you're taking the color out. So they made me a tie-dye shirt, and that's something good. So I feel like if you're needing activity, go tie-dye. I think a lot of people have been doing that during quarantine anyway, so it might be a little hard to find some tie-dye materials, but that is a really fun, you know what? And it doesn't matter, like, if you don't have kids to tie-dye. So, like, teens out there, I know a lot of you teens listen, and that's so cool. I'm glad thank you for listening. Shout out to all of our younger generation friends that are watching, or listening, not watching, you're listening. And yeah, if you've tie-dyed, show us some of your pictures online of your shirts or your things that you've made, because it's super cool. But I love the tie-dye look. I'm hoping to get the kids made me a shirt. It'll probably make an appearance here at some point. So
it should. That'd be cool.
Yeah. Also, speaking of fashion stuff, what do you think about the animal print trend, Will? You an animal print fan?
Animal print fan. You talking like
I'm setting him up here.
This is so that I can be a better hunter. Not that I hunt, but if I was a hunter, I'd want to know the animal prints in the mud so I could track them.
Sure, not that. This would be
fashion.
on your clothing. Fashion. Animal is on trend right now. Has been for
I'm
like
sure.
leopard,
I know the
cheetah,
leopard stuff. Yeah.
Zebra's a little in there. It's snake skin is big.
Snake
There's a
skin.
lot of snake
Boots.
skin
Shout
stuff.
out to all the boot people out
Yeah.
there.
I need to get some leopard.
But you're talking about, faux stuff, right? Synthetic,
it's
not
not
actually
real. We're
harming
not
real
really-
animals. Okay.
No, that's a different conversation for another day that I won't get into. I don't want to be controversial
Okay, so
on
tell
animal
me,
trend.
Sarah, tell me what's popular right now in the animal print world
Leopard
of
is,
fashion.
I still believe, the biggest one, or cheetah. Truth be told, I can't necessarily tell the difference between leopard, cheetah. What's the other? Lion.
lions
animal,
don't
cat
have
family.
any.
Cat
That's
family is what I meant. Like, I can't tell the other. See, look, I don't even know the difference between a lion and a cat. They're all from the cat family.
Like a meerkat?
I don't know. Anyway, but
that.
yes, I have my eye on some leopard print boots. We're going to see if I can. Gotta save up my monies. So yeah, let me know if you got some leopard print stuff. Now that's something good, friends. Let us know. Anyway, that's something good though.
I will not have something good on
actually,
that.
here's the thing. Because I would have never thought, if you would have asked me about 4 or 5 years ago if I would wear animal print, I'd be like, no, not a chance.
Seasons change.
It does change. And then I partly would be like, it's kind of bold. Do I want to wear that? Like, I feel like I don't want to draw that much attention to myself. I have no idea. Anyway, and then finally I was like, you know what? I actually like this leopard print stuff. You know what? I'm going to do it. I think the first leopard, I don't even remember what it might have been a pair of shoes. I actually have boots they're like the low heel. These are like wedges that I want, like the leopard print. I don't know. You got to diversify. And I feel like shoes, that's a really great place to throw in something a little funky. So if you're needing something to...
That's good.
Can guys shoes, you guys have a weight.
Not animal prints.
You don't want some animal print booties?
No, I will not have anything called booty. Well, no booties to wear.
Guys.
No. I do have a new pair of Crocs though.
Oh my goodness. I don't know if we can talk about this.
Well, let's just real quick, okay?
I'm not a Crocs fan.
It's not for you. I'm talking about me now.
I
You
know,
asked me for me.
What do they look like?
It's not the rubber Crocs. It's like a pair of shoes.
Crocs,
they're right
brand.
there. You see them?
Okay, those are a little better. We'll post a picture.
Anyway, the whole point is that I'm working from home. I stand up. I'm a stander because of back stuff, and I just prefer to stand, keep active. And the thing is, I'm not supposed to wear shoes I've wore outside in the house, which I agree with. And the only problem is my other shoes are old, and I don't. I've got one pair of good shoes right now, and I needed a pair that I could wear outside, so I couldn't wear them inside anymore. I got nothing but like slides, and they're really uncomfortable to stand for 8 hours or 6 hours in slides. So I had to get a new pair of shoes. Did some research for standing and walking shoes. I've got these Crocs. They're really comfortable, and I think they're going to be great support.
Them?
Yeah, so far.
Your something good is a new pair of Crocs shoes, is what you're saying.
Yeah. And so that's just because you were talking about shoes. But my something good is I'm looking forward to, by the time this podcast drops, I will be up in Minnesota with my dad and my brother up at Williams Narrows kind of resort. It's a getaway for fishing up in walleye country in Minnesota. It's been a tradition in my dad's side of the family for, I think, close to 100 years now. From my great...
100 years?
I think so. My great-grandfather took my grandfather.
What?
And they started going up to northern Minnesota. Yeah, fishing a long time ago. I'll have to ask my dad what the actual year is.
You
but
haven't got
close
to
to
go
that
for a while because it's always over our oldest daughter's birthday.
Yeah, and
so
my dad's going early this year, and it's the first time I've gone with one of my brothers too. So it's going to be
Both
super
your
cool.
brothers are going, right?
No, the youngest one, because of COVID stuff, his college schedule got shifted around, and he's not able to take any time off. But I'm looking forward to that. Yeah, it's nature time. Quality time with family.
Take us some fishing pictures.
Yeah, I have to do that.
And pray for me because I'll be here with the kids by myself.
Yeah, I know.
Send chocolate and coffee. It'll be okay. No, we're good. It's going to be fun.
Yeah, awesome. Or send a rescue party.
Or a rescue party. Send something good. Well, friends, we're so glad that you are here on the podcast with us, that you're listening. Your guys' investment so far, you guys have been sharing, you've been listening. We would, like we said earlier, would love to hear from you all if you've got a story to share. If you want to let us know how a guest has maybe just brought some encouragement to you, we love, you guys have been so great about texting us or texting the guest and letting them know. And that's just so encouraging to us that we know that people are listening and the stories are making an impact, which was our whole heart.
Yeah.
That as people share their just everyday, ordinary stories, that we would continue to be able to celebrate and hear the extraordinary in that. And Will and I are definitely really some of the most ordinary people, but God does extraordinary things in the everyday moments. So from leopard print to Crocs to mountain climbs to good coffee and tie-dye and everything in between, there's so much good. So I hope that you will take some moments to pause. Morning routines. Find a pause.
Yeah.
That's
Super
good. Yep. So find some moments to just pause and reflect and see where have there been some good things. When you're feeling overwhelmed, when the hard things seem really bad, take a moment to just really think and reflect and go, where can I see some good? And Will and I believe deeply that if you ask and if you look, you'll find it. And sometimes, like we said, sometimes moments are really hard and there's a lot of hard things that happen. And sometimes it just might be, okay, I'm breathing right now. And
that's good.
Today I woke up and you know what? That's good because your life is worth something. Your life is meaningful.
Yes.
God created you with a purpose. You are here for a reason, and keep living that out and keep being an encouragement to other people. You can do it. And you guys have been an encouragement to us. So
that's right. I encourage everyone listening, as you start out your day or wherever you're listening to this, whatever time of day, ask yourself one question. How can I be good to someone else today?
How can I be some good? Now that's something good.
That's something good.
Have a great week, friends. We'll see you next week. Actually, next week on the show, we're going to give a highlight. We've got a really special guest. I'm not going to tell you who it is yet. Actually, September is going to be an awesome month on Now That's Something Good. We have some really cool stories. I'm not going to tell you who's when because we haven't recorded it yet, and I'm pretty sure it's going to be the order, but I don't want to tell you the wrong thing. But we've got some really incredible stories coming this month that those stories we've already shared have been super impactful, and these just fall right in line that you're not going to miss. So as always, make sure to subscribe, make sure to follow so you do not miss a thing going on. Oh, Now That's Something Good. Have a great week.